Everything should be good. So, hop into the Discord stream if you haven't already. We're going to be looking over what happened on Monday when, most of Daybreak, some Sunrise people, some Weekend people, some people from Kick Rocks joined us. And we went in, saw Mother, Council, and Illidan, which are arguably going to be the only fights that give us any pause. Um, so, gonna talk about strategy in a second here for Mother. Obviously, we tried a little bit of her on Friday, did some different strats, some different SR levels to try and play out what it was going to feel like. Definitely doable with 0 SR with a little bit of good RNG. We want to attempt to pad that a little bit though, so the attempts that you're about to see are with bracers and cloak equipped, as well as the jewel crafting necklace that absorbs damage. The idea that we're going to go in with is using those necks on a rotation right before each fatal attraction. Right, so we'll have effectively 5 shadow pots per group used right before the fatal attractions go out. Because they are a 1 hour cooldown, we're going to have to be very careful about when we use them, because we can't go in into a crappy attempt and blow 1 hour cooldowns. Right, it's going to make the next attempts impossible or very very difficult. Likewise, we likely won't have this much SR the first time that we see Black Temple. We might have if we were able to do 2 hydrils right off the bat, but there's like a 20% chance that that's still possible. So when we decide that, we'll let you guys know. But Mother herself, easy fight. Most of you saw it on that Friday. This is slightly different positioning. You'll notice that we have the tanks against the wall over here, and all of the ranged are stacked in this very specific, very tight place. Once Moltmish's say, okay. So you can kind of see behind the star here. This is actually a water fountain. There's a fish here. There's a spot that you can stand underneath that fish that if you jump, you don't actually go anywhere. One of the random things that Mother does, one of the beams that she does, knocks people into the air. Obviously, that's a DPS loss and a healing loss. So if you stand right underneath this fish, you don't get knocked into the air, and it's a good time. Likewise, you can see there is a little tiny orb behind the tanks here. That is also a spot where if the melee DPS got knocked up, they would, increase uptime as well. So in a perfect world, we have the tanks here. They get hit by Saber Lash and then spin the boss. Very important that they wait for that Saber Lash hit though. Otherwise, melee can get cleaved or tanks can die. But we have a Hunter MD, and the most important part here, and we'll probably end up with a weak aura for this. I'll have to work on one, but this fatal attraction timer is what's determining the order of shadow resist necks. Right, so as this hits like 1 or 0 is when we want to activate those first necks. You can see here I've got a little absorb indicator, right? So as it hits 1, we activate the first neck. This is going to absorb a ton of damage, not only from the people that get Fatal Attraction, but also the rest of the raid as well. If you go through the logs for this fight, you'll see that it did a lot of work. Now, this is worst case, right? This is a worst case Fatal Attraction. We get ported basically on top of the melee and the tanks. There's only one direction to move. And what you'll see is, thanks to the necks and just healers being good, nobody dies. Now, this is an important note, and I was thinking this while the fight was happening, but couldn't say anything. Pretty sure Abby healthstoned this, but if you are any class that has the ability to heal yourself, and you happen to be like off here in Narnia, shout out to Bunk, you need to heal yourself before you come back. Like that should be the first thing that you do. If you're a class that can't heal yourself, stand there and bandage, because if another beam goes out and happens to choose you, you're screwed.
Server's up, by the way.
Cool. So we'll finish this Mother talk and then head into Gruels. Other than that, this is the major change to Mother, right? Is the neck rotation and the positioning. It seemed to work really well on that Friday. Obviously, we went in without a full team of Daybreak people. And I think the slightly larger DPS and slightly larger healing that we will hopefully see will increase our odds even further. But yeah, obviously for this, I would like to also have soul stones on all of our healers, and onks up, and battle reses up. So when we see this week one, chances are we're going to put an attempt into it, maybe two, and expect to wipe. Right? Not blow any of our resources, not blow the blood bloodlusts and all that good stuff. Um, this is not something that we're going to walk in and expect to one shot. I actually think that we have a greater chance of one shot in Council and Illidan than this, because of the relative lack of gear that we're going to want. To that end, please, 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 please make sure that you are bringing a helmet enchanted with Shadow Resist. Whether or not that is a previous tier helmet that you've used, or a craftable helmet that you can use, or whatever, is up to you. There is the option for the early weeks also, if you're rolling in gold, to bring a Shadow Resist enchant, get to Mother, enchant your helmet with Shadow Resist, and then re-enchant it back to whatever it regularly is after Mother. It's like 160 gold for the first week, which I think is perfectly reasonable. Obviously, we don't want to be doing it a lot. So if having a helm enchanted ends up being the play, which several people think it will be, you're going to want to use one of your old helmets, whatever you can find that you're not actively using all the time, but loses you, a relatively minor amount of DPS or healing throughput. Um, Obviously, don't go out and buy like a green that has Shadow Resist or whatever on it, because for 99.9% of the characters in the raid, that meta socket is super important. So don't lose that. Use an old tier 4 helm, or if you've got duplicate tier 5 or whatever, right? But do make sure that you've got a helm enchanted with Shadow Resist. And as we get closer to the raid itself, I'll be announcing some of these things as well. We will be providing the jewel crafting necklaces, so you don't have to go out of your way to grab those. That is something that we will be crafting and distributing. And obviously, they're only going to last 10 attempts. So if it ends up being the case that we need to continue using them into the future, we'll talk about how to manage that cost as well.
Correct.
Yep.
Was thinking for Mother, just for RNG purposes and the fact that these necks are like vital, was that we'd only use about 2 per attempt, because at that point we're halfway through the fight or more, and if like 1 or 2, if we get a bad FA and the raid wipes on the 4th one, we're fucked.
Yep.
But if we only use 2 necks per attempt, if we lose people late, it's probably not going to result in us not killing the boss, but it will save him for the next attempt if we end up with a really bad FA late in the fight.
Yeah, so my thought was, and again, we can discuss this more as a team, but my thought was pop one right before the first fatal attraction, and if nobody dies, we go hard. If anybody dies on that first fatal attraction, resetting Mother's super easy. We take like 10 steps back and she resets. We go again. That way we've only wasted one neck. Um, just seems like the safest way to play it.
And you're gonna, I guess, less timing is centered around surviving the first FA.
Yep.
Okay, that works.
Any questions about Mother? Cool. All right. If any of you guys see some, big brain strats or new math or whatever regarding this, please, 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 please tag me in whatever discussions you're having about it, or slide into my DMs, because this is going to be the fight that requires the most time. I'm almost certain. Um, there's a lot of RNG here, especially week one with limited shadow resist. So obviously, we don't want to be spending 3 hours on it with 2 raid days cut out of our schedule, right?
Oh, healers can change their cloak res over to 15 shadow res. It's a really good idea.
Yeah, yeah. Cloaks and bracers will be the first things that we're crafting for everybody, but we probably will not end up with 23, 22, 22 hearts before Mother. So, don't count on even having one piece of good shadow resist yet. All right, let's hop on the gruel.
We did have an option for week 1 for non-engineers to use nifty stopwatches as well for running away.
Yeah, rocket boots and speed items continue to be on that.
You can post Moray INV for group.
I've still been thinking that shadow protection potions might be the frickin' play for everybody that doesn't need a potion cooldown.
I don't know. I feel like the
I
extra
used one on
DPS
our-
is super valuable.
Yeah, but it absorbs the first 2 full ticks of shadow prop potions.
Might be one of those things where you hold your potion cooldown for the first FA, and if you get it, you shadow pot, and if you don't, you DPS pot.
On that attempt you were showing on stream when I died there, that was a health stone and shadow pot, and still got eaten.
What I saw with FA is that anybody that was like saving for that moment, they go to push those keys instead of running away or like really deciding which way they need to run away, and so both reactions end up delayed.
Yeah, I think over the course of time, people will become more comfortable with reacting to that. But it is a bit disorienting, right? You get teleported to the middle of nowhere, got to quickly judge your surroundings and also not die.
Yeah, the first thing to do is hit auto run, then choose the direction that you need to turn, because once you're already moving, there's a high likelihood that you're at least moving away from one person, if not both. So run, then decide.
We all here? Glorak's not. Glorok.
Yeah, or swapping a couple things around.
Are you doing it MRT?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't bother
Also, if y'all could
in
toss me a
gruel?
lock summon, that'd be great. 65.
Okay. If you need another body, my druid can come.
Oh, are we getting lava to bring a Shadow Priest to this one?
No, because I'm pretty sure it already got brought to group 1. So we're just not gonna have shadow for this one.
I mean, I can go shadow, but then we won't have Ellie in group.
Oh, we're okay.
It's Gruul.
It's just
I'm not
Gruul.
worried. Fox, I've got you on your paladin for this one.
Oh. Whoops. Braille, you were right.
It's alright. Greg's never gonna use my Resto Shaman.
Oh, I've got a summon pending. I'm just waiting for group things so that my MRT doesn't get lost.
It's not a big deal either, Fox. I'll be doing a lot more Karas, I think, yet.
I'm coming out.
It's funny because I was like a sleeper agent for your group. I could take all the healing items and trade
We're
them
good.
to you,
We're all here.
even though you were
Okay.
an enhancement.
I'll do elements.
Also, just as a note, while I'll be going over the essences of the Council and Illidan fights as well after we're done today, highly recommend that if you were not with us on Monday, you go watch the full ordeal that was getting used to those two fights, because seeing what went wrong, when, and why is a very, very important part of the learning process. And I will be showing you what went right and why, but I'm not gonna waste a bunch of time. So. Alright, go ahead and grab this.
How was that the front?
Where did you die?
On his left leg, right behind him. Oy vey.
Get wrecked.
Alright, we'll have Fox on Skull, Caking on X, Grass on the Boss. Who's my mage? Looks like a
Looks like a Nick.
Okay.
Do you guys all have item rack sets that you swap to before this boss that have no stam on it to make someone else do it?
Yeah, for sure.
Just literally takes off a
I just removed my gear, yeah.
Just take the staff off. That's like 76, right?
5, 4, 3, 2.
Fucking grief, dude.
Dude, that exact thing has happened to me.
That fucking Fellstalker just knocked me back into Mulgar Whirlwind. Oh my god.
Yeah, that was definitely the Philostalker.
Kigler was like, Darhol's gonna go flying.
That's hilarious.
Justice is served.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that button.
Oh, there's still a boss up.
This bacon's not here, huh? I'll grab this stuff.
Correct.
I can do it if you want. Oh, you're a level 6 or 7 warlock. Congratulations.
All right. If you wanted any of that, go ahead and link it.
I was wondering if you're gonna do it.
Congrats, Glorak.
Easy clap. I have to somehow get 2 primal nethers before I hit 70, so that I can have my boots, you know, like immediately.
Possible scenario.
Yeah.
Wait, does this mean you're gonna make us do mag again?
No.
I can put a request in next week to sub my quote-unquote warlock in for mag and kick rocks.
Drink, drink, drink.
Thanks.
Drinking.
Oh, yeah, we're missing 3rd pally buff on a lot of people, aren't we?
Kangi.
You mean the person that just changed myself to wisdom on mages because right now Kakin is set to kings on everything and I was set to king on mages? Because I don't fucking
Did that.
touch pally power when I'm in a group with Glorak.
Well, somebody else did.
When you put it that way.
I just swapped myself on 10-minute might. That's all I did.
Go ahead and do warlocks too, can you? Thank you. Alright, regular pull timer. No shenanigans, because I don't have Shadow Priest, so.
Go team.
Don't spread out early.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go ahead and lost.
Four, three,
Oh,
two,
rip.
1.
Shit.
Rip. I didn't see you above me there. That was odd.
Hop right up. No Wind Fury.
Four, three, two, 1.
Oh
There
shit.
it is.
Yeah.
Nice.
Another eye too.
Who's
I
this
like
that?
that. This one's Tenrix.
Nice.
Fuck yeah. Sorry. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
If you want any of the other stuff, link it.
Ooh, I have disenchantment. You can whisper D'Artango.
Yeah, now I'm definitely gonna have to redo splits for next week.
Did we get one?
Yeah, boy.
How many total is that for us?
A lot. We
15.
we can literally never complain about loot. Trust me. I every once in a while the GM channel in Mancrick Disc is just like, yeah, we've got no belts, no vestments, no life fathom scepters, one DST, blah blah. I'm just like, I'm just not gonna say anything.
Yeah,
Just
but
look at bows.
then you
We've
find
also
out
been
that
doing
they
more
were 8
splits
out
than
of
any other
10
guild.
until the nerf.
Yeah, yeah.
We haven't got a
Also,
single
we
bill yet. How many times you killed Vash? Oh, once?
Are any of the other guilds running like two main groups, quote unquote, though? To
No,
try
we,
and
we
get
are
funnel
we
loot?
are yes, we are doing the most for sure.
we have been doing the most since a long
Who
time.
has the group?
I do. You're in a group.
Tango.
Swapping over now. I'll just flying up to SSC first.
He's just admiring his trinket.
Yeah. stroking my spine on the way.
Let's get another one.
Finally got get rid of my Brewfest trinket.
No, you get rid of Brooch.
You
just
know,
use both. Use whatever
we-
is off cooldown.
Yep, swapping back and forth.
We used to oh no. Molten Mitch is watching the stream apparently. He goes 10 out of 10 pre-nerf, 0 best vestments, and 0 belts.
Hey, we got that stupid dagger like 8 times that no one wants.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
When are P3 loot lists ready?
we're gonna talk about that after raid today. Yeah.
Okay.
What was I gonna say? Yeah. So we used to talk about how we were gonna be doing gruel splits till the end of time. We might actually finish them at this rate.
Doubt it.
What about alts though? Like the third or fourth alts?
Yeah, I got a rogue.
What about seconds in DST?
I don't think he's heard of that one, Pip.
I have a feeling DST is going to be my curse.
You have one already. What are you talking about?
He needs another one though.
I need
On
one
his
on my
main.
main.
Whose is it in this group?
This one would be Psychos.
Psycho. Yeah.
Who's? Oh, there we go.
I appreciate that my Mark of the Wild buff from last week is still on some of these people.
Hmm. Okay. Groups are good.
Boofs.
Poly power
Let's
should
go ahead
be
and pull
okay.
this.
Master loot things.
Ah, yes. I will do that.
Russ, you got it?
Sure, buddy.
Unless you're
The
buddy
confidence. All right,
I'm not your guy, friend.
So Sigma will be on the dude. I'll put Tenric on Skull, D'Artanko on the boss, and Swalair on X. Everybody all good? Do I have a hunter over there?
No.
Cool.
Yes.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoops. Big heals on him. Bruh.
Toss call in a second.
much rolling.
You mean free rage?
Anybody want stuff? Put it in raid chat.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I'm gonna give the belt to Sigma.
Oh, I didn't see Sigma posting it there. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got a punch incoming. Watch the cleaves. Stack on butts. Kill the priest first so we don't get any fears. Readjust.
Res.
Did you already have
5,
gems on you, Brass?
4, 3, 2.
No, this one's going
1.
to alpha.
Oh, okay. I was like, Jesus.
Did I get charged on purpose for chicken?
It's a threat reset, and it will kill people.
Okay.
Just go stand in the cleave.
Try and take a cleave when there's one left.
Block. Too late now.
Five, 4, 3.
Lust.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Rip.
If you want any of that, post it in raid chat.
Damn, I wish I was on my pally for those boots.
Alright, get your group 2 characters to SSC. And after we're done with SSC, we will be talking about Council and Illidan, so stick around, as well as Phase 3 loot list stuff, and some minor logistics regarding the first week of progression.
If you're here already, come summon. Or not.
Summon me in a second. I'm DEing things, putting it in the guild bank.
Booty Bay Baptist Church.
I'm interested.
Your mic's open, Ephraim's.
Oh no, Ephraim's. What?
Ephraim's is like fucking
Literally
shit,
just spilt my entire coffee.
Oh, no.
At least it wasn't your vape exploding.
Those explode?
When you drop them and they fucking explode, yeah.
Holy fuck.
By explode, I mean the grass clacks and juice goes everywhere.
I'll chase you down.
We are actively getting summons out. Don't worry.
Currently missing Last Place and Lava.
rogue if anybody wants to sit.
Did you hit 70 on it? I didn't look.
Yeah, finally.
Nice.
But now I got a level sword, so I'm almost there.
Grass, you want to get your Baron here?
Alright, what's the number one item we want in here?
More belts. Be nice. Another vestments for White Toast.
How many belts do we need? I feel like we've had 20 vestments.
Holy shit, am I out for vestments already?
Yeah, you are our last warlock that needs it.
Oh my god, that's sick.
Yeah, if it had dropped yesterday, it would have gone to, I think, Hakan.
All we need is more wands for the casters, I think, now. For
Yeah, Erebos and Frames both need their wands. I don't know what the non-locks look like.
At least the mages Eridar wands really close, but
Yeah, the mages use mag. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll stick with mag, so I don't need them.
Still need plenty of fangs.
the fangs is such a minor upgrade over Mindblade, though.
It's more than that. The Fangs can get replaced by 3 or
Fangs
4
gonna
different
be
options
insta,
next
yeah.
phase
Exactly.
that are really common.
Yeah, biggest thing for locks is just getting their wand and their vestments, which are the biz pieces.
So those are the two big ones.
Alright, looks like everyone's here.
I want more of the stuff that lasts a
Like
long
tsunami
time.
talismans.
Yeah, tsunamis would be nice.
Kinky, I don't know if you take this, if it'll count you as being in the air.
Alright, let's get inside.
I think he's almost back in. Anyways.
Could also use a Fathom Stone.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's a little harder to replace.
Well, the badge orb actually isn't that much worse than it, so.
Yeah.
But it's way worse on seeds.
Yeah, I'm glad you convinced me to take mine.
Oh, when we were chatting, I was like, Slade, it's okay, just take it. You're like, fine.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
You thought Atiesh would be in your hand still, Sunwell?
No.
Until
I mean, I will use it
Dragoon drop.
situationally, of course, but
There's also 2 offhands next phase that are decent, so.
like if Darhole and I are in the same group, we both have Atiesh, we both put it on, you know.
That is really nice.
That's huge.
What we really need is for 2 of you other warlocks to go buy an Atiesh, so we can have a 4 warlock Atiesh group.
That would
Dude,
be gross.
I
It's
can't wait
disgusting.
to fucking replace this thing, to be honest with you.
That's the happiest Ellie shaman ever.
Atish is a curse at this point.
And of course, since we relogged, I gotta redo Pally Power. Why?
Coming in, Barrows?
Are we one phasing Hydros? Because we have a warrior.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Alright, and Jack Tip wants wisdom. Stupid imp.
He didn't need
All
wisdom until I got 2 less, and now he runs out of mana.
Buff up. Kato, you good? Cool.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Jesus, Fox gets right, dude.
Yay! I don't wear tank sets anymore. I just wear threat sets.
Oh, guess I'm
Otherwise,
just not tanking
Jadrick's on
those
the
mobs.
floor.
So I'm hearing we just need to spam Fox on trash.
Just on those pulls. Single target sucks.
Do you have a Belt of the Guardian?
No.
What? Really?
I feel like we should have
For
this.
Valorant speeds.
How do we not have that for you guys
4,
yet?
3,
I don't
2,
want it.
1.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What are you using instead?
Black Morass belt.
Yeah, the block rating on that one's much better.
Healer silence.
Shit tanks.
I've got them both based away. I think one might have turned to do it.
Yeah, they can cast the silence when they turn to do their little nuke.
But yeah, I prefer the Black Morass one. I use a couple heroic items, surprisingly. Black Temple finally replaces them.
Are you still using the arc bracers too?
Yep. Arc bracers, Black Morass belts, and Shattered Hull boots.
Did you get those bracers on your first?
Thank
the first
God.
one?
Because I did not want to go back to Arcatraz.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Went to pick up triangle, got stunned. Unfortunate.
They both charged me, even though I wasn't the furthest away, and I wasn't the closest.
Furthest away in combat?
I hadn't even attacked them yet. I was dropping totems.
Yeah, that'll put you in
Alright.
combat.
Let's do some
Yeah, it
chickeny
will.
things.
But like, there were lots of other people who were attacking them
Kill
Or-
this, let people drink.
10 yards further than me.
Okay. Nobody listened when I said let people drink. Kill this, let people drink. Drink. Okay.
Didn't get to drink.
Squawk. Oh god. Weak aura now.
Did you actually bubble?
Yeah. I pulled threat healing when someone was trying the chicken. I'm like, oh god, bubble it off.
Mine worked when I did the Phoenix pull, but then it never worked for the rest of the raid, so I don't know why it stopped, but I was happy.
Alright, on your
5,
breasts.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Fox, who tossed me a single cell when you get a chance?
Make sure you spread out.
Lusts. Resto's Lust.
I lost it earlier. My bad.
Can I have some of your RNG, please, Sidri? Jesus.
No. Oh, fuck.
Get fucked! Dude, you're still gonna win. That's how far ahead you were.
Uh-oh.
Sidri, you die?
No, I got bubbled at the end.
I'm sorry, mages. I totally griefed you.
Hey, stranger.
Glorat, can I go take care of my dog? He's freaking out.
Yep.
Thanks, sorry.
You had double the crit that fight that I did. Fuck me. 50 to 27%.
No, Fox, it's not a trinket.
5,
I still
4,
haven't seen one.
3, 2, 1.
Shad, you're up next for shoulder pads. The stranger.
Who's up after me?
In this group is Ori.
Who doesn't want it? And what's after him? That's it.
I'd
Last
probably
blade.
take them if and fuck around with them maybe. If you weren't gonna use them.
I'm pretty sure Sidri would have had rank 1 there if he didn't get bubbled.
Sounds like Slade already felt bad.
Stop, dude. I'm literally talking to myself about it right now.
No, you messing up the bubble.
It's the first time I've ever done that.
You doing that like didn't affect Sidri getting bubbled, Slade. Like that had no impact on that.
Yeah, you didn't cause Sidri to get bubbled. He got targeted.
I thought we were just talking about my fat finger loss.
Nah.
I mean, just not
Oh yeah, you
Oh, it wasn't
fucking
even a fat
hard.
finger. I
Yeah, you
fully
fat
intended
fingering.
to do it.
You fat fingering Lust is exactly what caused Sidri to not get a number 1 because that's what caused Sidri to get bubbled.
If you'd have got both of those, he probably would have like shattered the record. Yeah.
Can I grab the giant?
Yeah.
It's okay, now that he's AFK, I'll beat him on trash DPS today. Feels good, man.
Lol.
Giants coming. Drink.
So do we decide what's going on with the shoulders?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take him.
Shad? Okay. Cool.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
you saw that.
Saw what?
The microsecond taunt off of him. Might have been the fastest thing I've ever done.
There's a joke in there somewhere.
I was holding it back.
Not like he did.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Maros, watch the cleave.
I see a warrior standing directly behind you.
No, I pulled threat on skull.
Mm-hmm.
Look at my damage taken.
I think just the timing of when Glorak said that and then when you died is.
It's just melees
5,
from Shatterer.
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's not Oni. He can't Death Wish Blood Fury tank.
Pretty sure also Wreck was involved.
Yeah.
Oh, you let her heal?
Gonna wait 30 seconds, but yeah. Melee, make sure that we're at least in 3 piles. Don't stand in melee range.
It's like if you want to stack. Oh fuck, we got so much melee today. Never mind.
Where's your imp? Is everything considered fire or frost damage on this boss when he does like the little gushes and stuff?
I think it's all frost.
The damage you take from the water is fire, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Spout and Geyser are both frost.
Damn. This is why it's fishing, not catching, eh? This really hurts our speed run time.
Done lust.
Love you too, man.
Beware.
Spout.
Staying in pump. Are we doing second lust?
Yeah, my bad. Second lust.
Oh my god, you're not even doing the warlocks.
I did the warlocks on the first one.
No, you didn't. No, Slay didn't.
Don't care about parses, by the way.
Alright. Oh, rude.
Yeah, my third on this one is ass, by the way.
Fucking saw a hunter shoot our platform before their own was dead.
No one shot your platform from on our platform. Just me and Barrel shooting around.
Multi-shot went that far, something that was weird.
Or the ambushers are shooting over there.
Spout.
Barrels, I might have painted that in there. I was trying to push it.
Oh yeah, it was an arrow from one of the mobs.
I was gonna say, because me and Barrel's positioning, I don't think we could have shot your platform if we tried to. We're way back on ours.
The mobs on the hunter platform usually shoot a random shot over.
Yeah.
The timing of it popping on screen and like the mob's health disappearing was it's just a coincidence.
Does anybody want any of these things?
Take the pendant.
Huge grats.
Ah, never mind, Kengi.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thompson cooldown.
Oh boy. Does anybody want
Crowding
that?
totem.
YOLO.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Obviously not a Buddhist.
Ori.
Someone want to summon him?
Get me out of this raid. Totem. Double totem.
Could let the seeds pad a little bit. Oops.
Hitting
I lipped
melee
it.
buttons before concentrate.
Yeah, I lipped
Well,
it.
the mob was still coming, and then mob already had the seed explode.
Pretty sure Shadrach hit Whirlwind too.
Literally didn't even press a button yet. Already on them.
Not Shadrach. Shadrach
Shield,
wouldn't do that.
Shield had 2 seconds on cooldown, so I couldn't get that snap threat.
Five, four, three, two,
I don't know why it has a 30-second cooldown. Poison climb.
Five, four, three, two, one.
Alright, I've got a risky chicken plan if people are interested.
You had me at chicken.
Just gonna take this mage, and I'm going to pull him out. Make sure you got your chickens equipped though.
Do we know what it is already, or?
Nope. But whether it's fire, frost, or arcane, you can get hit by it. Check your 30-minute buffs and stuff.
Are we sheeping another mage to reduce the...
No, because I want people to get hit by it.
Just
We
do
could
it
sheep
again
it.
was my
Yeah,
idea.
We can just sheep it and then do it at the end. It's less risky.
So long.
We're already
If you
in
pull
time
it out,
crunch.
you're gonna be getting charged, aren't you?
Alright, go and sheep it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fox.
Nice shield.
Freaking griefed.
Gosh darn it.
It's perfect.
Totems. Or in the wall, melee have to get
You
these
also
totems.
made me hit a button. Now I don't have my chicken.
How's that my fault?
Because I was distracted.
This looks like it worked out perfect.
Just blame Slade again.
Stop doing it.
Perfect.
So don't. Oh.
Don't kill it yet.
Slow
Stand in-
DPS.
Stand in front for Cone of Cold.
Yep. If you need the chicken, stand in front of it.
We got 4.
Why do we only have one?
None of the hunters got hit by it.
Yeah, I didn't get hit by the Cone of Cold.
Stop
And
the
people are still
attacking
killing
it.
it.
There we go. there's the cone.
No,
They
no,
were
hunters are
standing in
also
front of it.
Hunters are
Four.
standing in front of it.
We're at 4. Good.
Okay, cool.
All right, Fox, fire. We didn't kill the Pat, so don't. Oh my fucking god, watch that chicken, please.
Dude, I was going in.
Yeah.
Rambo chicken.
We didn't kill the Pat, so don't go near the hallway.
Ready.
I got skull brass if you want to get X.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Watch the patrol here.
Kangi and Psycho, go ahead and lust.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
Patrol's coming. Don't go over there.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
Everybody else go and lust.
Slade.
You did. Kill your demons. Still kill your demons.
What? The pets don't attack him like this?
Nothing lands for the first 2 seconds.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
Keep
Drink.
stand still, keep healing. If you have a dot on you, eat.
Got a girdle.
Dare I ask the question? What happened to that second last? In group 2.
I called everybody else lust instead of resto lust, and there was confusion. It's actually a move up, everybody, please. There's actually a weak aura that I want all of our shaman to have that I'll have to grab after this.
Hey, don't you?
Hey Brass, do you want a belt?
Didn't you already
Only
use a
if
whisper
none of the paladins want it.
for notification purposes?
Say again?
Okay, so like you use a weak aura to whisper to grass, right? To
It's
swap the-
not a
can't
whisper.
you also?
No, it's not a whisper. It's programmatic. Could I have it whisper the shaman? Yes. The easier option is there is a weak aura that exists that lets you know when your group is swapped. And yeah, I'll just modify that so that when a shaman's group is swapped, it tells them to bloodlust.
Oh, that's a double group. Almost pulled that.
Why didn't you?
Spot post when this dies, please.
Brass get the other one. No. Mine's Geyser.
Toast.
Also Geyser.
Hawk. We need people to react to those, please. Either be at max range, like you've been taught multiple times, or be way faster than that.
Mushrooms.
Hearing no paladins interested in it, I will take it, Bacon.
Boomshock is gonna take it.
Okay.
I was handling that via whispers. But after that, I believe the next one is yours.
What next one? We're done.
Fair point.
We're not coming back here.
What?
There we are.
Prize and Hunter.
We have, what, 2 more weeks in here still? Yeah. We have 2 more clears.
Just wanted to be over.
Well, maybe you'd burn out less if you didn't raid on 6 tunes.
I'm burnt out. This place just sucks.
Oh. Brass, you madman.
Such low life now.
They used to have so much help. I don't know what Blizzard was thinking when they did that.
As much health as the big guys themselves have. Times 10.
Between Lurker and like 4 toxic pools.
Holy shit!
I'm
That,
glad
look
that
at
this
the radius
is
on
not
that.
a speedrun.
Look where lava died.
Grounding totems for this pack, please.
Oof, chunky mana thistle.
I'd be more excited to see Terracone.
All right, Brass and Captain Hawk in the corner. Barrows going to take care of our square MD. Tenric, you'll be doing Skull to Fox. I'll be on the boss. Yeah, we're Lusting Tidewalker.
Thank you, Shad. I thought that was the number.
Okie doke, here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Now we're good.
Yeah, it's got an add function cooldown.
Fire.
Heal Shad. Okay.
Fire. Fire. God, motherfucker.
Hey, a sextant.
With his dying breath, he killed me.
Yeah, I didn't have time to try to get a bubble on you.
Don't peek too far
You
forward.
melee die so fast.
I can't carry the sextant because I already have one. Who wants a sextant?
Me.
Fangorn, you're next on the list.
I'll pass if somebody wants it behind me.
Who said they wanted it?
Erebus, but I don't even have it on my list because I was a moron.
Oh.
AoE.
Grounding totems.
Frail, do you
5,
want a sextant?
4, 3,
I'll
2,
try it out. I think
1.
Hanky said it might be decent.
Some fights it's fun. If you're not using the badge trinket, it's pretty good. If you're swapping out for trash and stuff, it's also pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good for the Warlock Seed set. I think that's why Sidri wants it.
Who's after me then?
White Toast. And then Inique. Because Sidri is silly and didn't put it on the loot list.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll take it. It'll be good for Hyjal.
Alright. And then Frail, you can pass it to White Toast if you are inclined.
Please equip chicken 3.5. Maybe we'll see.
Vash phase 3.
Yeah. Yeah, Glorak, you used yours earlier, remember? Silly Glorak.
Yeah, I guess we just use them on botch. The Omega phase 3.
Which one are you tanking?
Me.
Need some rebuffs.
Unless you want to, Brass.
Sorry, Fox, I accidentally clicked off self.
You know, I
Yeah,
never
I have
have.
no macro.
Let's do it once.
Sure. Alright, Brass will be tanking. If I could have that Sal Fox. Just waiting on people's mana and we'll go.
MDs to Brass.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Better than yesterday.
Lust.
When every single lock didn't want to be the one to cast the last seed that didn't go off, so they all stayed alive.
He's got to bring him into melee and let the
Resto is lost.
sleep.
And then we all tabbed at the same time, so the same exact problem we were trying to avoid happened.
Verify it.
No.
Every time, right when the boss dies.
Slade, do you just spam chain heal after an earthquake? I get like 3 holy lights off and they're still on you.
Yeah, usually I'm fine with slows or a bop, but that time I got
blocked you
graved.
the first time.
Yeah, I didn't need it the first time. Second time would have been better, but I'm not gonna be picky.
You got sent to Africa the second time.
To Narnia?
I'm always kiting them because I can see if they're targeting me, so I only really need a bop if it's like a for sure death scenario.
You pretty much just need one of the pre-casted seeds to explode, and then they're off the healers anyway.
Grounding totems.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
That shield missed.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Poison time.
First time healing tier 5 on my druid. Any tips on where I should put my wraith? Bottom?
In
Your
the
what?
center bottom.
Just hide it completely.
Oh.
He said hide it completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just mouse over the characters themselves.
Yeah, friendly nameplates on, enemy nameplates off.
Oh no.
Yeah, I use friendly nameplates to heal 100%. If you're outside of the range, you just don't get heals.
Oh my god.
Holy shit.
Stand in fire.
Imagine.
I
Heal
go
yourself.
first
If you're
person
outside
and
the
I
range,
click
you
out of
can't
my
heal them
cast book.
anyways.
Just click on people you think are taking damage.
Sounds miserable.
No, Ephraims, you need to type the spell out every time you cast it.
Oh yeah.
No, you open your spell book
So
and
stupid.
click it.
Sorry.
Yeah. How dare you?
No,
Seriously, hot the priest and the warlocks, and then stand in fire and heal yourself.
Yeah, world fastest macro typer.
Look, just turn off literally all frames and nameplates. Have the boss targeted, or click on whichever mob you think is doing the most damage, and just heal their target.
No,
Wait,
you can't
that's
have
how you
target
play a
turned
holy
on.
paladin, not a druid.
True. Spam life bloom on everyone.
You have to
Can't be
go
wrong.
in first person, run around, and bandage people like a true medic.
Imagine the bandages you would go through.
Lotheb
One
flashbacks.
per minute. Oh no, never mind.
You can't. I don't think you could go through the whole raid with a full channel before the debuff.
Not with that attitude, you couldn't.
Imagine if haste boosted bandages.
All right, I'm equipping my chicken.
Make sure you inspect legit.
I did it once. Fuck you. And I'm just gonna unequip it the second combat starts, or right before.
Barrows take entrance, Tenric take far side, and Darhole if you want the pillar.
That means stay the fuck away.
Yeah, here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Jesus, dude. I popped the haste pot.
She got it faster.
You see what you did there, Glorak, is you wrecked yourself when you should have checked yourself.
You got Shadricked.
Can I get a heal, please? Stack charge?
No, don't heal him. Let him die.
Fuck's sake, because I like 10% HP.
I was thinking about it.
And I've been shot blessed.
I was just trying to give you content for your stream.
True.
He's got sick clouds. He doesn't need any more content.
Ori.
Someone go stand by Darhole, please.
Fucking Ori's here griefing.
I love you, Ori.
I'll go Earth Shock over here.
Frail, you want east side and I'll get west?
Sure.
I'm just marking the healers for tossing cores sick. You guys don't have to stand in any particular spot. But...
Tenric, where are you?
Northeast.
Come here.
I swear to God, you guys are your assholes.
Entrance.
Naga entrance.
Thank you, Fox.
Tainted east.
Strider entrance.
On Fox.
Oh, I get meleeed me, but not with the net.
It was gonna be on a melee, so I taunted it.
Oh, that's fair.
Because our melee they were trying to get that 99 on this fight, you know?
Naga South.
The elusive 99 on Vosh.
Glorak wasn't wrong. You really just gotta go find a shitty pug. I did that on my mage. I got 99 twice.
I was looking at
Entrance, Strider.
healing
Tainted spot
parcels.
east.
And I think the rank 1 disc priest on Vosh was just somebody that 4-healed the GDKP. And the other 3 healers were ass.
Naga South.
Arrows, it's on you.
I think it's sad they got rid of the MC mechanic. Like, I like that you can CC, but to just rip it out completely.
That's the way it was in vanilla.
So sad.
I think like only 2 guilds killed it while it still had the MC.
Yep, only 2. The fight was also just broken in other ways, but
Double spawn ink.
the first ever kill,
Naga entrance.
Strider east.
first ever kill, they couldn't loot her.
Tainted entrance.
What?
This will be the last core.
Naga east with brass. Strider East.
Entrance again.
Where we going?
It's not even there yet.
I have it.
Wait for this Naga to get tanked. I'll count it down. In 3, 2, 1, go for it.
Chickens.
Lusts.
Regular lusts.
Should I stop?
No, you're good.
It's tauntable. Bacon GTFO.
I did.
Oh, she got one.
You got
She
one.
got one buff.
Rude.
Rest of lusts.
Last 8%. Keck.
What else are you gonna use it for? Jeez.
Belts. Vestments.
Ooh, and belt.
All right.
Wow.
I really just need to
snap.
slide into the GM channel and be like, yeah, guys. Okay, so we've got belts on everybody, vestments on everybody.
I mean, we got belt, vestment, and DST in one day.
Number 11.
Psycho.
But
This
no
belt is
champion
yours.
Thanks, Bacon.
What? Did I give that to Darhol? Sorry, I was meant to do that to Psycho.
Come out, boys.
Give that to Psycho.
Oh, it's Psycho.
The belt, yeah.
All right. I'll be starting Black Temple talks as soon as Bacon's done with the loot. There is some pretty significant logistics stuff as well. So even if you were with us on that Monday, please stick around. You don't have to be in the raid group, but stay in Discord.
The last vestments that we need.
That's not true. Lorok, he'll be here next week. I promise.
Really?
A little slower than old
Maybe,
people. Fuck,
probably.
dude.
I assume you
Lorak.
use both tanks next week.
Lorak, you want tier helm?
Yeah, you're right. Sure. I assume nobody else really needs. Actually, give it to Lava again.
Alright. Then we've got gloves, pants, and helmet, and these things. Neek's gonna take the helm. Bale's gonna take pants.
Do we get what legs did we get? Tier legs.
Dual hero. Because of course we did.
Oh, sorry.
It was this one you said? Yeah. Alright, we still have one defender glove and one hero leg token. He already has one. We got two of them and I gave him one without even asking. I guess Lava could take both of them.
I don't know yet, Barros. It's going to depend a lot on availability things. That first week is going to be interesting.
Yep, it will.
Yeah, so while we're decompressing...
That's all the loot, so we can hop over to PTR.
No PTR. Video.
Oh, no?
Yeah,
Oh,
PTR is
just video,
down.
okay.
Sag.
Oh, it's down. Right.
Yeah, so hop into the stream again if you haven't yet. Also, this will all be on YouTube as well afterwards for double review. But real quick, regarding week 1 of Tier 6, before we get into Council, there is a new channel beneath the raid signups called Tier 6 Launch Week. If you haven't yet, please go look at it. There are 6 individual signups there, each of them for a different period of time. It starts with the hour before raid time, then regular raid time, and then the hour after raid time on Friday, and then repeats for Monday. Very, 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 very important that you mark your availability as soon as you can, because I need to be planning this weeks ahead of time. There is a decent chance that we only have time for a single Hyjal. And if that is the case, I literally can only work with 25 characters. So please, please, please mark your availability, and don't be surprised if for the first time in a very, very long time, I have to bench a bunch of mains and bring a bunch of alts to progression. It might just work out that way because Blizzard sucks, and we've only got one real raid day to work with, as well as, probably pretty gutted Monday. So if you have the opportunity to make more time available on either of those days, or make those days available, please do so. Obviously, and I mentioned in the post as well, we're never going to be tracking attendance outside of regular raid times, so nothing, against you if you can't make it. But we want to, bring our best effort, and at the very least, clear everything once during that first week. My initial plans were to clear everything twice, and Blizzard said no. So we're working with what we got.
Are you gonna reset the loot list thing so everyone can get their submissions in?
After Mother, leading up to Council, is boring as heck. So we're just going to pick a Council attempt real quick to take a look at. We spent a lot of time on Council, and those of you that were there, I hope you got a lot out of it, because this is one of the more complicated fights in the game. It's not hard, it's just intricate. And the name of the game on this fight, like most fights, is Don't Die. So brief explanation for those of you that weren't there, have never seen this before. We've got 4 mobs to deal with. Gathios here, who is marked Skull. He will be tanked by Brass on the Warrior when the Warrior is available, or a Druid when the Warrior is not available. We will be bringing the Warrior to progression, though, so... he does a Consecration around him that you need to immediately move out of. Basically, there's a lot of ground effects in this fight, and the name of the game for 99.9% of the raiders is don't stand in shit, okay? Don't stand in concentration or consecration, don't stand in blizzards, don't stand in flame strikes. If you can dodge those things, fight's easy. They happen often, they're big, they're frequent. Most of them have a ton of leniency. The Blizzard, for instance, doesn't even start ticking until 2 seconds after it appears. The Flame Strike has 3 seconds between ticks. There is so much time to move out of these things, but you need to do it immediately, because if you die, chances are it's a wipe. There's just not a lot of leeway here. So everybody's DPSing the Paladin over here. And then we've got Lady Meland, who's the next most important individual. She does 2 important things. The first is a heal, which needs to be kicked So every single kicker in the raid needs to be responsible for this. Obviously, the rogue or an enhancement shaman or a warrior will be the primarily assigned person to handle this. But everybody that's in range of her should have her focus targeted and be ready to kick things. Circle of Healing can never go through. It heals them all. It's like 400,000 health. It's stupid. That can never go through. Divine Wrath, which is what you're seeing hit this person right here, is also not so great. It does a ton of damage to whoever it hits. Probably hit Malaram here for about 5k, and also applies a dot that is not so fun. So this also needs to be kicked. She also smites her current top threat target. That's not an issue. Gathios will occasionally cast either a magical or physical bop on her, which makes her immune to either magical or physical spells and abilities. That means sometimes the rogues and warriors won't be able to kick her, and sometimes the mages and shamans won't be able to kick her. We really, really need as much coverage on her as possible so that those never get missed, even when the bops are up. She also puts a reflective shield on herself, which will reflect, in the PTR state, it was 150% of the damage you deal gets reflected back at you. When that's up, DBM yells at you. It puts a timer. You can kind of see here in the middle. You cannot DPS her while that reflective shield is up. She will most of the time be stacked on top of Gathios for cleave and sweeping strikes and all that good stuff. But when reflective shield pops up, those things need to stop. Otherwise, you will die. The third mob that we're going to talk about that does anything relevant is our friend Varus Darkshadow. Let me see if I can find a point in time where he's actually on the screen. Varus is a rogue. He will be tanked by the Paladin. And he occasionally vanishes, reappears, and attempts to murder somebody. And is often successful in doing so. Here he is, right here. He needs to be picked up so fast by the Paladin. Hunters, you guys are also going to be spamming a macro to help with that. That will put Hunter's Mark on him a little bit early before he starts doing anything. Healers, you need to have raid frames that show his Envenom ability on them. I will help you with that if you don't know how to get that set up. There is an ID for it in the logs that you can add to your debuff tracking. And knowing who he is currently attacking and currently putting stacks of deadly poison on is very important because he will murder them really quickly if they don't get any heals or if he doesn't get picked up fast enough. But that's really all he does, is he just attempts to kill people. The last mob, which you're probably not going to be able to see. Let me back up to the poll. The last mob is a mage that will be mage tanked. He has a dampen magic ability that needs to be spell stolen, and the mage can just pump into him. It's really, that's it. That's all that's going on that side of the room. Obviously, don't get too close to him because, like everything else that needs to be mage tanked or warlock tanked, being close to it results in death. He will spam Arcane Explosion just like Capernian or Crush. He's a triangle over there. That one right there. And this is important. This bop that you see on our mage tank, this is how we'll be handling the pull. The mage tank gets bopped. He runs in first. Because the only two mobs that can actually hit him with a bop are Maland and the mage himself, this is entirely safe. He can stand there. He can take hits from Varus. He can take hits from Gathios. Not a big deal, especially with that dampen magic on him. So the first thing that he does is spell steal the dampen magic, and then he can start threatening the mage and move further into the corner just to create some space in the room. The other tanks are going to run in and pull off the other targets. Gathios is tanked on the right side of the room. The other two mobs that can melee attack, Maland and Varus, are stacked on top of Gathios as much as possible for cleave and stuff. And then the mage tank just keeps the other dude in the corner. They do share a health pool. So, it seems like they've got 1.7 million health. You're thinking to yourself, oh, we'll just nuke that in 10 seconds. It's actually 4 times that much. And if you watch Gathios' health, you'll actually see it go up occasionally, right? He'll hit 90% and then go back up to 92. That's his health resyncing with the rest of them. It's not actually heals going off. Trust me, if a heal goes off, you'll know, because they'll all jump up like 10%. But that is the entirety of the council fight. It is kicking heals and avoiding bad shit. This fight is incredibly healer intensive. Healers, you will find yourselves very taxed here, especially with the amount of movement that you're going to have to do. So try to keep in mind that, the main tank here is taking a shit ton of damage. Everybody else should not be, right? We've got the Holy Paladin off on the mage tank, easy healing over there. Everybody else should be taking manageable damage. The Paladin tank will take the second most damage while Varus is active, but that's only like 20% of the time. The Druid tank won't be taking a lot of damage because he's just getting smited every once in a while. And the Raid will be taking a lot of damage, but they should not be in danger of dying quickly unless they're being targeted by either Divine Wrath from Milan, which should be kicked, or Varus, which healers, again, you should have an indicator on your raid frames to keep track of that. So this one's going to be tough. This is an execution fight. This is not a gear check like Mother is. This is a purely execution fight. We can go in here, we can take our time with it. Most kills are about 5 minutes long. The only real bottleneck that we've got here is how long can our healers sustain, right? So be careful with this, but yeah. The other things that people will want to be careful for that are class specific, nobody should ever put dots on Maland. No dots ever on Maland, because that reflective shield will pop up and you'll just melt yourself. When Maland has reflective shield up, hunters, you'll want to be careful with your multi-shot. Obviously, it doesn't do that much damage, but if you're already at low health, you can kill yourself. And obviously, the regular cleavers are warriors. Be careful. Any questions about this? I know it's a very complicated fight. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of mechanics, but really, the essence of the fight is don't die and DPS hard.
And just a big thing for the range, everyone needs to stay decently spread out, just so you're not having the AoE spawn the entire group, and just in case someone doesn't get out of it, not everyone dies.
Yeah, the important thing to realize when you're looking at what's going on right here with this fight, we're going to be making some minor adjustments from what I learned on the PTR, but there is no reason to have every single range character on the side of Gathios. We've got this whole other side over here, right? So we'll probably end up like putting the warlocks over here, putting the mages and the shadow priest group on the opposite side by the ramp, and then like the hunters on the ramp itself, right? Give us a full arc so that when flame strike hits or when blizzard hits, it's only hitting 1 or 2 people at a time, not 5 or 6, right? And I think I might have just accidentally picked the heal attempt or the kill attempt. So you'll see 2 things happen shortly. Ori's about to kill himself on reflective shield, Sag. Oh, maybe this isn't the kill attempt. Did Vizzy die on the kill attempt? The second thing that I want you to pay attention to as we get toward the kill here, and this is very important because it's disorienting. Their health is going to hit 0, and they're not going to die. It is super important that you keep DPSing as hard as you can until you can't anymore, right? The health takes a while to sync between the 4 of them. So they'll be at 0% for a good 10, 15, 20 seconds. And if we end up with a close call attempt where we think that they're dead and everybody's celebrating and people stop doing their thing, we can still wipe, right?
So the heal goes off and they're not at
exactly. You got to keep going even when they're at 1 health like this. Like, look how long this lasts, right? Don't let that happen and just say, oh yeah, we won. I guess Ori died earlier. Heck W. But yeah, that's the entirety of the council fight. Questions, comments?
Are there really 2 different reflective shields?
There is 1 reflective shield and 2 bops. So there are 3 shields total happening. The bops that Gathios casts, which most of the time are on Milan, they can target the other mobs, but most of the time they're on Milan, make her completely immune to either physical or magical damage. They don't reflect. You'll just get immunities while those are up. That's perfectly fine. That's just something that we need people to be watching for so that we can either use physical or magical kicks on those Circle of Healing, because missing that is, another minute onto the fight. The reflective shield itself, DBM will yell at you for. There's only one reflective shield, but it reflects all damage. So you have to be very careful when that's up. If both Bop and reflective shield are up at the same time, you're safe because it's just going to be immuning. So don't fall into a false sense of security where, Gathios bops her, then she casts reflective shield, and you're cleaving and you're cleaving and you're cleaving, and then the bop falls off and all of a sudden you're dead because the reflective shield is still there. Right? Got to be aware of all of them.
One thing to note about the reflective shields, we're gonna need to keep comms relatively clear during the fight so that we can call out which of the reflective shields is up to say who is in charge of kicks for however long it lasts.
Yes.
So comms need to stay relatively clear so we can make sure to make those calls, because if a heal goes off, it might just be a wipe.
It's also, again, I'm going to recommend literally everybody have Milan as their focus target for this, even healers, because healers, there are two really good focus targets for this fight. The first is Varus, right? So you can see who he's targeting when he comes out of stealth, but seeing deadly poisons on your raid frames kind of takes care of that. Or Milan to see who she's casting Divine Wrath on, because if that doesn't get interrupted, it can nuke somebody. But yeah, I highly recommend everybody has Milan as a focus target for this. And when you are interrupting her, use rank 1s. Use rank 1 Earth Shocks. Obviously, Kick and Pummel are up-ranked, and Counterspell doesn't do damage. But if you use max rank Earth Shocks, you can nuke yourself if there's a reflective shield up. So be very careful. One thing I want to point out real quick while I've got this freeze frame. This is how Ori died. So you'll notice this is just reflective shield damage, just over and over and over again. It is so easy to kill yourself to this. He's getting healed, right? But being in charge of kicks, it's easy to tunnel. So my enhancement shamans, my rogues, my Ellies, you guys are going to be in charge of kicks most of the time. Please, 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 please be careful, right? I actually think it's kind of funny because we did like probably 10 attempts on council, and the only time that Ori killed himself was the kill attempt, so maybe that was a good luck charm. Anything else before we move on to Illidan?
Gathios puts out a bunch of auras, like he has Devotion aura and Chromatic Resistance aura.
Yes.
I don't know, I mean, it doesn't really matter, but like I was thinking range could switch to the mage sometimes when that goes up.
You're 100% right. I was just about to say that. On my mage, the best attempt I got, damage wise and the kill time, was when everybody was swapping, because there's always at least one target that doesn't have the aura.
Yeah, so the aura is a range on the PTR, and I specify that because it's not supposed to be. Back in the day, he was just supposed to cast the aura, and from what I've read, and I don't know if this is an accurate representation or not, but from what I read, he was supposed to cast the auras on the other 3 targets, which is one of the reasons why he was always the primary burn target, because he didn't have his own auras. It does have a range on the PTR, so we can pull Gathios out of range of the others and make it so that aura doesn't hit. The problem is the mage tank isn't going to have enough threat on the mage to sustain a quick swap from any of our casters or hunters. So if he starts out as an aura and everybody decides, oh, cool, I'm going to go to the mage to do more damage, we might end up running into some issues there. Similarly, neither Milan nor Varus are ever going to be out of range of the auras, so the mage is the only target. I personally think it is much cleaner if everybody just focuses on what's underneath their feet, what's above their heads, and what's in front of them, rather than attempting to swap targets back and forth and back and forth. We might get to the point where that is the optimal way to kill it, as far as speed and parses are concerned, but honestly, I don't think that'll be the case, because the auras, while they last a while, they don't persist forever, and Gathios is going to be the only target that is fully debuffed at any given point in time, and those debuffs do increase damage a lot. Similarly, the melee will never have another target to go on to, because Melange will just reflect or become immune, Varus disappears 70% of the time, and they literally can't touch the mage for fear of death. So we'll see. That's not something that we're gonna play with week 1 probably, unless I see some super convincing PTR footage. But every single kill log that I have gone through that looked clean and killed it in a relatively decent amount of time, hard focused Gathios. There is no other real primary target.
Yeah, the only reason why I was able to even think about doing that during the fight was just because I've already done that fight like 15 times in the past like week between 4 characters, so I was pretty comfortable being able to do it. But I definitely think people that haven't done the fight as much recently, then definitely just keep it safe.
Yep. Yeah, as long as we stay alive.
Are the bosses tauntable?
The rogue is 100%.
Yes, the only boss that is tauntable is the rogue. So the way that the rogue's mechanic happens, he'll vanish, he'll come back, he temporarily drops threat when he comes back in an attempt to nuke somebody. The paladin can either taunt him off of that person or hit them with something. It really doesn't take much, as long as the paladin meets the rogue before the rogue meets his target.
Okay. Can the rogue appear over by the mage when he does that, and target the mage?
Yep.
When he does so.
Sure can. And he can appear basically anywhere. He doesn't appear on top of somebody most of the time. He'll just appear in a random spot in the room and then run toward his target. So there is most of the time a little bit of leeway. Occasionally you'll get unlucky and he'll pop up right on top of whoever he's about to kill. But
okay.
What does the mage do to melee?
He'll spam Arcane Explosion and just murder you. Yeah.
Kind of like Capernian.
Yep. I think it's worse than Capernian. It might also include a knockback mechanic like Crush. I'm not sure. Okay.
So if they have a shared health pool, it's going to be all about cleave.
Yes. Yep.
On that topic of the rogue, real quick, I definitely noticed he's stunnable too. So you can hodge him as soon as he puts a deadly poison on someone, so he doesn't get the envenom off.
Nice. And that poison is not cleansable, for those of you wondering.
Okay.
All right, Illidan things. So we walk up these giant set of stairs. We've got our friend Illidan in the middle of this big courtyard. Important, you can't actually aggro him here, but Akama is going to end up at the top of the stairs from where we just came. Don't talk to Akama. Just don't do it. He'll start the fight, and yeah.
Don't bail.
So
I turned it off.
we're gonna talk about this fight as the video plays, so you can see some of it as well. Let me get to the point. I actually talked about it on the PTR, obviously, so it takes a while for us to actually start it up. Let me go to one of the more successful attempts. So Illidan is another one of those shield boy fights. So when Brass Bull's in the group, he'll be tanking it. When Brass is not in the group, we will have a Paladin on it. Paladin tanks, it's incredibly important that you have a fully uncrushable set that does not include your miss chance in that calculation. If you need help with that, reach out to Fox. He's already done it. Sheer cannot miss. So it must be blocked, dodged, or parried. So your block, dodge, parry values with Holy Shield active must reach that 104% mark in order for you to successfully tank Illidan. So phase 1 is boring. Phase 1, there's only really 2 mechanics that anybody needs to worry about other than the tank. And the first one is Parasites. If you get parasites put on you, you're going to run over here to where Ego is about to drop a frost trap. You're going to let those parasites explode. The mages will take care of them with a couple arcane explosions. You come back to the raid, keep nuking. You don't want to blow any of your cooldowns on this. This is a relatively short phase. No real reason to use trinkets or anything on this, because the next phase is the hardest one in the fight, and this one doesn't last that long. I haven't timed it out or looked at logs. You might be able to get away with like 2-minute trinkets on the pull, but don't use your big 3-minute stuff or anything like that here. So
I think the scary part is a threat on flames. So like using cooldowns on flames is.
They are tauntable, and I think there might be ways to mitigate that issue, but we'll talk about here in a second.
Timing wise, I was MDing on pull when we did our PTR stuff with Kick Rocks. The 2-minute timer on MD did not come up again until the beginning of phase 3. So if you use 2 minutes on pull, you won't have them for flames.
Yeah, don't MD on the pull either. Just don't be the closest person to him when he spawns either. Let the tank do that, and just let the tank get threat. This is not a race, right? We will optimize the skill for speed and parses eventually, but during progression, this is a lot of intense healing and execution, and that's really it. It's not a DPS race. We can take our time with phase 1 especially. Phase 2 and phase 3 we're going to talk about. They require a bit more oomph, but phase 1, don't go don't waste all your resources. Just let it happen. After phase 1 is over, he's going to fly up into the air, become invulnerable. Phase 2 starts. This is the hard part. 2 flames are going to spawn on each side here. You'll notice that we're in 3 stacks. We have 1 ranged and healer stack here, 1 ranged and healer stack there, and then the melee stack. What we're going to have is the 2 tanks in fire resist gear are going to pull these flames back to where that repair bot currently is, and we'll use a smoke marker or a repair bot or something to mark this as well. It's very important that these tanks know, and that everybody in the raid knows, you can never be more than 25 yards away from either glaive or the flames. Okay, so we are in a very confined space here, and we can't over drag these flames or run away or anything like that. Illidan is going to be constantly raining fire down. There's a fireball you can see on the raid. So there's a lot of raid healing to be done. That increases in frequency the longer that this phase takes. And you'll see toward the end it gets real scary. That's why we're in 3 stacks. We can't completely spread out because there's not enough room here, and that room will continue to get more claustrophobic. But we don't want everybody to get hit by these fireballs at the same time, so we can't just stack in the middle. So the tanks are going to bring them to here, and then they're going to turn around. Tanks, when you're kiting these flames, the warglaives are your center point, right? You get to here, and you slowly kite in an arc toward the warglaive, and then away from the warglaive until you eventually end up where the stack in the middle of the screen is, right? Every once in a while, they're going to breathe fire like that, so you never want to be in front of them. And when they breathe fire, they're going to leave a permanent patch of fire on the ground where the tank was previously standing. That's why they have to be kited. As if that wasn't enough, we also have this blue laser beam coming down on the left side of the screen. If you are standing in the path of this when it hits the ground, you die. That's it. There's nothing that can save you. You cannot possibly have enough health or fire resist. You're just dead. So you can't get hit by this. We want to keep comms clear during this phase so that we can call out if people need to move away from this or if the groups need to move for any reason. The tanks have a difficult time seeing where this is headed. So very important that we keep comms clear so that we can call those out for the tanks. Once this is down, however, once the laser pointer is gone and it's just a patch of blue flame on the ground, it is relatively safe for the tanks to move through it. You guys are wearing fire resist. It ticks for like 200. It's not a big deal. So you'll see Adamiri here on the left just drags his flame right through it, no problem. The tanks here do take a ton of damage, and threat is an issue, so be aware of both of those things, both DPS and healers. Week 1, we're going to be bringing capped fire resist tanks in here in order to help reduce the healer burden. Similarly, every single group should have some form of fire resist active, whether that is a paladin aura or a totem, because it'll help mitigate the fireballs. So this phase is a race to get these down before the healers just can't catch up anymore. Super important that everybody watches their own health, watches their own positioning, and does whatever they can to help mitigate the fact that this phase is rough. We might lust this phase. Haven't decided yet. But lusting this phase helps clean up the fight, whereas lusting the phase after this one is a little bit better, just because we can potentially skip a demon phase. We'll talk about that in a little bit.
Man.
Important thing to note, these are tauntable. So if one tank goes down and the other one happens to be free, picking it up like this is super valuable. Especially because, unfortunately for our fire resist tanks, you guys are relatively useless after this phase ends. So if you die, it's not a wipe. We just keep going, right?
Yeah, thanks for your hard work.
Yeah. This obviously is a wipe because we've already got 2 DPS dead, and while this is the hard part, the next few parts aren't necessarily easy. So skipping ahead to a section that we actually got to the 3rd phase. Did anybody have any questions about those first 2 phases while we're getting to this?
I was just gonna add in how you had it changed up in our later attempts for our kiting or pathing for those flame tanks, how we drug it sideways, then spun it 90 away. Like, looks like we're doing it in this one.
Yeah, so I'll go back to the beginning of phase 2 on this attempt. Healers, you guys are going to carry this fight. Every tank that ever tanks gets slapped, except for the Warlock. The Warlock kind of tickles, but there's a lot of other healing going on during that phase. But tanks all take so much damage. The raid takes so much damage during this phase and the next. It's rough. So be ready for it. Come prepared. Tons of pots, tons of runes.
Are we planning on doing the Shadow Priest thing again for the first little while, or?
Not sure. Mages, I might take your Shadow Priest away from you for the first phase or 2 of this, just in favor of giving like the Circle Priest and maybe a Resto Shaman some extra mana, because this is, as we get better gear, obviously it's not going to be as big of an issue, but this is rough. So we'll talk about that more. So again, we're just watching I-beams, not standing in fire, DPSing, DPSing, DPSing. Once the first one goes down, nuking the second one should be super easy. As you'll note here, just to give you an idea of how much healing exactly goes on. This is a demon, right? So we've got a paladin doing paladin against demon threat things, and the fucking Circle Priest is second on threat. Right? There is a lot of healing going on. Continuing. Eventually this dies. We're not going to see a lot of phase 3 on this attempt because, again, we already have 4 people dead. The goal here is to get to the 3rd phase, no deaths. Right? No deaths and decent mana on our healers. Now, here's where we made our first mistake while practicing. Everybody should be taking this time while he's flying down to spread the heck out. Like a ton, right? We want the entire raid to be all the way across here, and go around to the fire, go around. Why does this fire look like it? Okay, go around to the fire, spread out, use the space. The fire eventually despawns. Don't be in the middle here. He lands here. The tank needs to pick him up. Nobody can be in front of Illidan. Nobody can be around Illidan. We can't be stacked like this. There's just, yeah. We made it past the flames phase and kind of tunneled here because this is messy.
Gloric, what does the fire look like?
Nothing. Looks like a line of fire. So yeah, as Brass drags Illidan back, and this is also important. He does have to drag this in order for the next phase's positioning to be okay. So watch your threat on this. This is another threat reset. Now, we might lust this phase if we can cleanly get through the flames phase. I don't expect us to one-shot Illidan. If we do, cool. But we might lust this phase. The reason for that is if you can get him to 30 or 35%, I forget what the threshold is, But if you can get him to that threshold within 40 seconds, which is the duration of a lust, we don't have to worry about the demon phase. And the demon phase sucks. So skipping that would be amazing. And I think we might go for it. Yeah. So you'll see here, we are all starting to spread out. One of the big mistakes that we made during this attempt, and one of the reasons you'll see a lot of people just dying, this blue debuff up here that lasts a minute. He targets somebody in the raid with this, and if you are within 8 yards of anybody else, it also hits them. So everybody has a massive immolate on them right now, and the healers just can't keep up because we were so close together. Similarly, during this next phase, this demon phase, he's going to do an ability every 20 seconds or so called Shadow Flame or Shadow Burst or something. That's going to hit everybody in the raid. And in addition to hitting everybody in the raid, it splashes to anybody within 8 yards of you. So if you have anybody within 8 yards of you during this fight, you are incredibly wrong and you're all dead. Because you'll see he's about to cast it. There's a DBM timer for it so the healers can be aware. He'll send out these flames, they hit everybody, they splash, and people just fucking die. Okay. The other thing that you're seeing, and this is super important, we're going to change something that happened on the PTR, take some advice from one of the pugs that we had that had done this before. He summons these shadow demons. He does this really soon in the phase. And I emphasize that because our Warlock tank, if we end up with a Warlock tank and actually doing this phase, won't have much threat here, okay? He's got 20k, that's a decent amount, but if he gets paralyzed by one of these, and y'all keep pumping into Illidan, that's a wipe, okay? The Warlock tank also needs to focus on being max range here, so that if he does get paralyzed, we have as much time as possible to do the thing. Melee. You guys are literally not allowed to be near Illidan. Being within 18 yards of him is death while he's in this form. So you want to be at least as far away as the ranged, spread out amongst them, and worrying about Shadow Demons when they come out. Shadow Demon kill order is always who is closest. Right? So we see this one in the middle here, targeting this individual on the left. That needs to die very quickly. Otherwise, that person dies. The way that these demons work is if they reach their target, the target dies. That's it. Then they swap to somebody new, yada yada. While you're targeted by them, you can't do anything. So they really need to die quickly. Warlocks.
Disciple Hunter want a Frost Trap too before that phase?
Yeah. So we're going to do a couple things. We're going to add a slow to the bottom of this. They can be frost shocked, they can be slow trapped, all that good stuff. So they need to be slowed. So right before the phase starts, hunters, you can drop traps underneath of Illidan, and then back away. The second thing is warlocks. As soon as this phase transition happens, I want you spamming Illidan with Seeds of Corruption, so that they will pop immediately and hit all 4 of these at once, and hopefully just nuke them. And if that happens, this phase becomes much, much cleaner. Now, there is a point where we got past this demon phase and saw a 5% attempt. Is this it? Yeah, okay. So he goes demon here. We've got a much better spread. Raid health is so much better because we spread it earlier and didn't worry about the, we moved around the flames and all that good stuff. He's further back, so we've got a bit more room to spread out here. Notice how far away everybody is. This is beautiful. Even if, I'm the Shadow Priest, I should be the closest person here. Even if I get targeted by a Shadow Demon, I have so much more time than the previous attempt. All right. So this is super important. Keep in mind that, melee, you guys might even want to go all the way to the back here, just make more room for the ranged. Now, we still didn't do the slow trap stuff. We still didn't do the Seed of Corruption stuff. So this is going to get a little messy here. A few people died to these because not enough DPS swaps. So we have 4 deaths there. But yeah, be careful about, your DPS on those and make sure that... Oh, also, you'll notice I just got nuked like twice. You can't be anywhere near the Warlock tank. Look how far away I am, right? It's because I went over to kill this Shadow Demon. And this is another thing. The Warlock tank should be like back here, right? Like all the way back with a healer on them. All right, we'll just put the Holy Pally back there. That's all they need. All right. But right here, I'm, a good 18, 20 yards away from Darhole, and I get nuked anyway. So don't be near
Keep
that.
in mind, if he's that far back, if he gets targeted by a demon, DPS has to be double time to get him free.
Yes, yes.
So hopefully the seeds take care of it.
Yeah. I think the seeds will take care of it. They don't have that much health. Okay, so we get him to the threshold. It's got to be 30%, not 35. Oh, nope. Maybe? Yeah, no, it's 30%. So here he's going back into human phase. Important. When the threat drop happens here is a super, super, super important thing to note. Notice my threat meter here in the middle. Darhole is soaring. The next human phase on DBM isn't for another 14 seconds. But he starts the transition early. See how he drops to his knees here? He is currently still attackable. He's not attacking anybody, but threat has already reset. This is super important. This happens when he goes into Demon Phase 2. All right? Let the tank threat during this transition phase. Don't just unload. Okay? Threat doesn't reset when you think it does. It's a lot earlier. So here, Brass just barely manages to climb above and get where he needs to be. And at 30%, we're going to go into a new phase, phase 5. It looks a lot like the phase that we're currently in with one minor difference. So we get some RP here at 30%. We continue, we continue, we continue. And eventually we're back. So, 2 new mechanics. He enrages. The enrage hurts a lot. Nobody in the raid should be taking damage during this phase. We are still spread out because he still does that immolate thing. He also does the parasitic shadow fiends during this phase, so we need to have our mages aware of that and killing them when they spawn on people. But the enrage is the big thing, right? Nobody in the raid should be taking too much damage. Just stay spread. Keep track of your own health. Healthstone when you need to. Bandage if you need to. Because while this enrage is up, if every healer isn't spamming the tank dies. Okay? Sometimes the tank dies anyway. It's that bad. So please, 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 especially when he's big and red like this, focus heals on the tank. Now it only lasts, 20 seconds or so, and we can save a shield wall for a bad one. But super important that we're keeping track of that. The other new mechanic is Maev, our dear friend Maev, is going to put traps on the ground occasionally. Now, we didn't see any on the PTR visually. She might have done it. I just didn't see it. But we can drag Illidan over those traps, and he briefly takes 100% extra damage. There's one in the back. Okay, so yeah. We may or may not use these. The downside to using these is that the entire raid has to reposition. That's dangerous, like really dangerous. But it also makes beating this next demon phase really easy. So you'll notice here that we get him down to, let's see, 10% without the Resto Lusts, right? I didn't swap the Restos for this fight. So 10% before he goes back into demon phase. Adding a trap to that makes it an easy kill because we just pump, right? This just pumps. He ends up down at like 6.5% here before we all just die.
That trap also dispels enrage if he's enraged.
Yep. So again, the reason that we wipe here is because our Warlock tank gets targeted and people are still attacking the boss. So what ends up happening is the entire raid gets this Shadow Flame, and then he starts blasting people, and it's over, right? But yeah, so there's a lot going on in this fight, but honestly, it's not complicated, right? It's like a lot of other fights that we've seen, spread out, manage damage taken, and pump. That's basically it. The tanks have to worry about some extra stuff, and the healers, obviously you guys are in a tough spot throughout this entire fight. But that's the entirety of it, right? It's an execution fight. It's a bit of DPS and healing check, but not at all
long.
complex. Yeah, it's long. Anybody have questions about any of that, or comments, things that you've seen from other places?
When you were talking about it before on the BTR for spreading out, are you still making that like assigned positions placement
Yes, we're going to have a map. I haven't made it yet, as you can obviously see. What's going to end up happening is the tank will end up starting with Illidan over here. All right, here's our good friend Illidan. Here's our melee DPS. Here's our range stack. This is phase 1, right? During phase 2, we're going to have 2 stacks of mixed ranged and healers, along with the melee, who are going to start on this ad over here.
Oh, I don't know if I didn't hear it. Did you mention anything about the parasite dropping during phase 1 off to the side?
Yes, yeah. That's something that I'll call out during the fight too. It's not a difficult mechanic for people to worry about. But yeah, so during phase 2, we've got the 2 ads like this, and the tanks are slowly bringing these around the edge. Now, here's something super important for people to realize. These 2 groups are in the path of the kiting. They might have to move, okay? But when they move, they can't get too close to another one of the groups, right? So in an ideal world, the range stack starts over here. This slowly gets kited, and by the time it matters, this one's also getting kited, so the melee are all over here, and this group can move to there, right? This one ends up dying, Skull dies, bye. X becomes the focus, the melee move over here, and now the ranged have this spot to occupy. That little dance is going to be incredibly important because it's going to be a relatively confined space. With the DPS that I expect us to put out, this phase shouldn't last too long, but we want to make sure that we're managing the space effectively. Then we move to our phase 3, which looks just like phase 1, right? The major difference is this time we have many ranged stacks and healer stacks, and by stacks I mean loose spreads around your groups so that you don't have to worry about getting multiple people immolated or Shadow Fiends spawning and multiplying and eventually wiping us or anything like that. And we're already pre-spread for the demon phase. Now, Brass, it really does not matter which side you choose to tank him on during this. You can start on either side here. The important thing to note is that the Warlock tank is on the opposite side, right? I want the Warlock tank already ready all the way over here so that, those blasts aren't blasting. Similarly, my Holy Paladin can be like, hey, all the way back here.
He still does the flame crash, so in the scenario you've got laid out, I would drag him right, so the Warlock should
Correct.
be.
Yeah, you would drag him this way. He's only going to get like 2 flame crashes off, right? So you end up like here, and the Warlock is still fine over this corner.
I end up much further over because of hunter pets and how far back they stand from the boss and how big the fire radius actually is. Like,
gotcha.
3 flame crashes will be a full from the left pillar to the right pillar there.
Yeah. The most important things to remember for positioning during that transition from phase 3 to demon phase is Warlock tank needs to be max range and away from everybody else. That's the important part. After that, we go into demon phase. Demon phase happens. Positioning is very similar, except for the fact that the melee gets shunted to the back and chill. And then they come back during the tank and spank again, and we repeat.
That question on that. If you want the paladin on the other side of the tanks, what happens if they get the demon and all the melee's way in the back? Will the
Good
range
call.
kill it before it can get there?
Good call. We'll just have the paladin over here with this group.
Can you bubble if you're fiended?
I don't believe so. They'll probably just target somebody else because they haven't died yet.
When we're all spread out, if you get parasitics on you, what do you do?
You just stand there and let them spawn. After they spawn, kill them. Yeah, parasites during this phase are the responsibility of whoever they spawn on and the people around them. They do not have any health at all. A couple arcane explosions from mages kills them in phase 1. You can't rely on the mages to be near you during this phase, obviously. So yeah, it's the responsibility of anybody that can see them. Kind of like totems, right? Spitfire totems and that kind of thing. You just turn to it. Toss a quick shadow burn if you're a warlock. Hit it with an arcane shot if you're a hunter. You know, whatever you got, it just does a quick amount of damage.
How many parasites spawn per thing?
Two. There are 2 parasites that spawn, and long story short, they're parasites. So if you let them stay alive for too long, they'll infect somebody else, and then they'll spawn too, and then they'll infect somebody else, and then they'll spawn too, and it gets out of hand real quick.
They just melt. They have no health at all. So.
Yep. As long as somebody does their job, they don't cause any trouble at all. But if people decide that that's a mechanic that they're just going to ignore, we will wipe. Any other questions about Illidan?
The parasites have 3,000 health.
Yes.
Can he drop both Warglaives at once?
Yes, he can.
Yes.
When is Xylan coming back?
99s, baby.
Speaking of which, we haven't officially announced Warglaive order yet. Is that something that we want to do?
Prompt warrior.
Yes, obviously.
W.
Yeah.
Hunters.
Okay. Hunters first, obviously. Shears main swapping. And obviously you all know that Ori is our first prio. He's been with us for a very long time, and he's fulfilling the requisite yellow role. So during this initial week of progression, if we only get 1 Black Temple in, which at this point is probably the case, Ori will be first prio. But during splits, Ori's going to be in one group, Shear's going to be in the other. After either one of them has completed their set, we're going to give a pair to Shadrick. And then also last place after that. And if we somehow end up with more than 4 sets, we'll talk about potentially adding more Fury Warriors to the roster. But that's ambitious.
I'm transferring over now.
Along those lines, loot lists. Loot lists will be available for input as soon as I'm done talking. You guys can submit your loot lists. They are going to be final once you hit that submit button this time. I've already cleared out everybody's old stuff. So do not submit anything unless you are confident in it. Just as a general reminder to everybody, there are 2 columns. Make sure you put items in both of them. And yeah, so yeah, you'll be able to submit loot lists starting today. Nothing major has changed as far as loot priority is concerned. There are a few bug fixes that I implemented as far as duplicate items are concerned and things like that. But whatever you have been working with, you should be able to, see again. One minor thing, just for people that might be using the website from a browser that does this, I've added a security certificate to the website so that browsers that force you into HTTPS mode don't yell at you saying that the site is insecure and you should turn back now, that kind of thing. However, as a side effect of doing that, because of the way that browsers store things, If you go to the HTTPS version, your loot list that you've been working on will not be there. You will have to build it from scratch again. However, if you force your browser to go to the HTTP version, it'll be there. So, it's a minor thing.
Thanks, help desk.
You're welcome. Similarly, slight other logistics stuff. I already mentioned launch week shenanigans might get interesting as far as characters go and who gets rostered and everything else like that. If we end up being forced to do only one Hyjal and I can't attune the entire raid at the same time, I'm going to have to, by virtue of the way that the raids are set up, use whatever 25 characters I roster for Hyjal for the entirety of Black Temple as well. I really, really, really like swapping people between raid instances during progression week, just to give everybody a little bit of stuff that might not be possible. So, if you are one of those people that doesn't get rostered because that ends up being an issue or whatever, reach out to me. I will reach out to you, and I'll see if I can't get you into a different run with one of our friends, because as you can imagine, there are a lot of guilds scrambling to try to get full rosters put together because of the way that things are going to be released. So we might be able to fit you in somewhere and, still get you exposed to the content and maybe a shot at loot and that kind of thing. Similarly, alts, the more people that can find Hyjal pugs specifically if you're not rostered, the better. I'm going to try to get rosters out as soon as possible so that you have time to do that. But if a lot of people are attuned to Black Temple for that second week, it makes my job way easier. So if you can do that, please do.
You were mulling over tank +5 bonuses. Is that a thing or not?
With the intensity of the tank damage that's going on, and the fact that that is going to be our bottleneck to smooth, clean runs, we will be giving tanks, for the first time ever, their tank bonuses. For those
Brass, you were first?
Man, I'm not even here next week.
Can we add for loot list? Can we add some sort of like contingency on whoops, I forgot to put it on? Whereas like you're not moving anything around, so you're really not gaining any information about what people put. But for the instances where people forgot to put stuff on, and yes, I know the better answer is don't forget to put stuff on, but as the last two phases have shown, people still forget to do that.
I'd agree with
Sure.
that.
Yeah, just something
Sounds
to
reasonable to
be
me.
able to get it added back so that we don't have situations where people are constantly like where 5 had to, have people remember and stuff like that.